What's up, guys? How's it going? It is Matt here. So, I figured I haven't done a prepping video in a little while, so I'm going to bring you out. Nice fall day out here. It's nice, like 40 degrees, so it's starting to get it. The leaves are really starting to fall, nice and cool out. My favorite time of year. But I figured I'd bring you out here and talk a little bit about prepping and caliber choice for prepping, because I hear a lot of caliber nonsense out there and stuff like that. So I want to bring a couple things what are actual real things to take into consideration if you're big time prepping, and whether it's you're prepping for some sort of shit. It's a fan, whether it's like invasion, EMP, whatever it is, the type of ammo you should probably focus on. So let's get started. When it comes to choosing your ammunition, when it comes to choosing your ammunition, there's a couple things that you want to take into consideration. Caliber, obviously, you want something that's going to stop something, or say if it's prepping or something like that, you want something that can take down a deer or a bear or whatever it is. So you want to choose a caliber that'll get the job done. You also want to have some defensive calibers, ones that'll work on both people and animals if you need be. And you really want to take into consideration the capability of the actual round itself. When I'm talking like hard barrier penetration and all the other stuff. So one thing that I hear a lot of people saying is you want to go with jacketed hollow point for everything. Whatever you do, jacketed hollow point, stock on up as much as you can. And I'm big time disagreeing on that. I'm going to really disagree on that. Another thing that I hear a lot too when it comes to prepping is 22. It's all about 22s. You got to get yourself nothing but 20. No, so much 22 you can't do anything with it. So I want to talk a little bit about these two choices and actually bring a little bit of reality and a little sense to the prepping. So it's like this. We'll start with the 22. So 22 is a great round. All right, it's a great training round. Good for taking your kids out, teaching how to shoot. It's great for like small game, like squirrels and stuff like that. Now, a lot of preppers will say 22 is the best way to go because it's so cheap. I mean, you could buy a box of 500 for like 30 bucks. It is so cheap, so you could just overstock on it and have so much of it and stuff like that. Now, keep in mind, all ammo is heavy regardless of the size of it. So 500 rounds of this, 500 rounds of that, is still heavy ammunition. So the more you have, the heavier it's going to be, regardless, right? Regardless. So if you're prepping, and if you're talking about bugging out, going from one place to another as quickly as possible to your point of, let's say, your area of operations where it's going to be during the bad times or situation, are you going to want a ton of a little bit of a tiny caliber, or are you going to want a bigger caliber that can do a lot more done, can get a lot more done? A lot of people always say you gotta have a 22 for all this other stuff because you can eat all this stuff and all these little games and stuff like that. I'm a father. I have a wife and I have 3 kids. Little squirrels and stuff like that all day long. There's not a whole lot of meat on those. There's not a whole lot of meat on those small little animals, and you can't feed a family with that unless you were like literally hunting all day with a 22 and trying to find the stuff. If you're lucky enough to hit squirrels, because squirrels are tiny little buggers. Little bee flying around here. I'm gonna say go with a deer dropping caliber. All right, a deer dropping caliber, or something that is like me. One of my favorite calibers is 308. 308 will pretty much drop any 2-legged or 4-legged animals in the entire northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, at that matter. At some points, not quite. 308 is a damn good caliber. Now, can you feed a family of like mine, a family of 5? Off of squirrels and bunny rabbits and stuff like that? Or we'd be better off with like a deer or elk or moose or bear meat? What do you think would provide more food and nutrition for your family? Little squirrels nonstop all day long, it's gonna be a lot of hunting just to get a little bit of meat, or bigger calibers to drop something a little bit bigger and bring it home and have a week's worth of food in one sitting, in one hunting sitting, however long it takes. Just one thing you want to take into consideration. Now, say like a 308, for example, I like that. You can choose your own personal. I like 308 because it literally gets the job done. In the military, our medium machine guns, 7.62x5.1, are the standard sniper rifles for most of the infantry guys that was out with the force recon guys that would be attached to us and stuff like that. Was 308. They had 308 and they had 50. So 308 will reach out. It's a mid-range to long-range if you know how to shoot well. I like to call it a mid-range gun because not everyone's a well-trained sniper. It's a mid-range caliber that will drop pretty much anything that it hits. So whether it's a bear, a deer, whatever it is, there's a lot of meat that can come from that. And it might cost a little bit more to have a good amount of ammunition for it. But what are you going to benefit more for? 22 rimfire that isn't always the best ammunition, that's kind of hit or miss whether you shoot it, or something a little bit bigger that'll get the job done a lot quicker and be able to feed and provide for your family a little bit better. So that's one thing I want to talk about. The next thing I want to do is we already talked about caliber choice, is the type of ammunition you want. Now, jacketed hollow point in a civilian world, rule of law is a great way to go. Military all uses ball, Geneva Conventions, all this other stuff, we all use ball ammunition, you know, all that other stuff. But the civilian world, jacketed hollow point is great for rule of law situations. Because if you have to defend yourself, spanning ammunition cannot punch its way through stuff and can actually drop stuff a little bit faster than, say, full metal jacket. Well, not quite as fast, but it'll still, sometimes it'll drop faster, sometimes it won't. You know, everyone's a little bit different. People are resilient, animals are resilient. So, jacketed hollow point for rule of law is good. It's expensive, and it comes in smaller boxes, but it's available. It's not as available as ball. All right, there's 100 times more ball than there's jacketed hollow point, which is another reason. You know, we'll add that to it too. But in the civilian world, you know, rule of law is good, everything's good, nothing bad has happened, it's a good way to go. Without rule of law, completely different scenario. What ammunition will be more readily available for you? Will it be jacketed hollow point, or will it be ball ammunition? All right, which one will you find more of? Jacketed hollow point or ball? More than likely, you're going to find a hell of a lot more ball than you will the jacketed hollow point. Especially if there's like a military invasion or whatever it is, it's going to be ball ammunition you're going to find. Now, it's another reason you want a bigger caliber, because ball ammunition, regardless if it's a bigger caliber, it doesn't need to be expanding. All right, if it's a bigger caliber, you don't need expanding ammunition. It'll get the job done. For example, is on a day like today, a beautiful day, I'm back to carrying my 1911 because I love my 1911s. I only run one type of ammunition through my 1911 yellow jacket, and that is hard ball. All right, I only run hard ball through my 1911. A lot of people think that's ridiculous, because what if I have to defend myself and stuff like that? One of the biggest complaints people have about like a 45, which is a bigger bore, is it lacks penetration. It hits hard, but it lacks penetration. But here's the thing. If you put ball ammunition through it, it is still more effective than most 9mm or smaller calibers, and it punches through things very well. So when you have a small or a heavier, it's still fast moving around, and not quite as fast as something like, but it's heavy and fast, and it hits hard, and it goes through things. Most of the energy, believe it or not, even with ball ammunition, is released inside the body. And the rounds will still come out, absolutely. But it won't come out as fatally as it can with, say, like jacketed hollow points. However, if there's hard barriers or something like that, and you have a bigger bore with ball ammunition, it will punch through things a lot better. Once you start running jacketed hollow point seriously lacks hard barrier penetration. It really does, unless you look for like specific type of ammunition like Hornady critical defense and stuff like that. It's specifically designed with hard barrier penetration in mind. People don't realize that stuff's actually designed with hard barrier penetration in mind, but it still doesn't penetrate as well as a ball ammunition. Now, there's a channel, VSO Gun Channel. They're good guys. They're doing a demonstration. I was kind of laughing a little bit. How powerful is it? Is what they're doing. Is doing 9mm, 40, and 45. How powerful is it? When they came to the 40, or actually when they came to the 45, they're like, oh great, you know, whatever. They shot it, and oh, it's not powerful enough. So they use hardball, 45 caliber ammunition, ACP. It punched through a car door, shattered the door mechanism on the inside so it wouldn't work anymore, punched way through and barely popped out the side and barely hit the target. You're telling me that's not an effective round? You know, a big heavy ball ammunition that punches through it. And then it's funny because they got a 40, and there's a lot of people that have misconception about 40. Oh, this is going to be joke. You know, it's not going to do whatever it wants to do, because a lot of people think 40 is like the bastard round. All right, it doesn't do anything. It's not worth anything. Blah 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 blah. And then they realize that 40 has more hard barrier penetration than any other round they put through it, and it still hits hard and still goes through stuff very quickly. Bigger bores and full metal jacket are awesome ways to go. Now, if you can only handle smaller bore calibers, you're going to want something that's like a jacketed hollow point, because it'll cause more effect. It will cause a little bit more damage when it hits, because the smaller, the lighter, it honestly doesn't hit that hard. It really doesn't, and it takes a lot to take someone out. So you're going to want, if you're going with the smaller caliber, you're going to want the jacketed hollow point. But if you're going like the bigger boards, you're going to want hard ball. Now, when it comes to rifles, anyone's looking for a defensive rifle, it's a fan rifle, you want hard ball. All right, you're gonna want hardball. You don't want expanding jacket hull point. You want hardball. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, the round's gonna go through if you do it. Yeah, but if it's a shit hits a fan situation, you're gonna need hard barrier penetration. And if someone starts shooting at you through a window or something like that, or one of the gangs or whatever, you're gonna need something that will be able to punch through that wall, punch through that window, and get the job done without having minor deflections when it goes through that windshield. So you're gonna want hardball that travels very fast. So I'd recommend, for if you're looking at a long gun for shit hits a fan, go with hard ball. Okay, full metal jacket. All right, a good solid caliber 5.56. What is it? A 7.62 by 3.9, 5.45, 308, 30-06, 45.70. Yeah, that'll draw something pretty quickly. Something that hits really hard, punches through things, and drops stuff. Now that leads me to another point. A lot of people think like a lever action gun is like a crap gun. What good is it? You know, what good is it? It's great for hunting. Okay, when you hit someone with like a 45.70 or a 30-30, which is very similar to like AK when it hits, or like close to a 308 when it hits, and more like an AK when it hits. Dude, that's some serious power behind it. There's some serious, especially like a 45.70. We could drop any animal in the entire world. Literally, you could drop any world in the entire world with 45.70, and you drop them fast with hardball or soft-nosed lead rounds, whatever. You could drop anything with a caliber like that. So don't throw those calibers out the door. But one thing that I really want to bring out there is a lot of people focus on prepping. The 22, you use it for this, suppressive, and all this, and you can hit someone and stuff like that. Look, you're going to have a lot of ammunition. It's still going to be heavy as hell. You're going to have to carry a lot of it to be effective and be able to get the job done. Just be able to get the job done, and even that is heavy. So if you're carrying a lot of that, yeah, you're going to be weighed down. Whereas you get a heavier ammunition, a bigger ammunition, yeah, it costs more money. Yeah, it does. It costs more money in a world, you know, the standard world. But if you have a bigger, more effective caliber, it'll drop the right animals that can actually feed families, that can actually drop people quickly that's attacking you. You're going to last a lot longer, and you're going to be a lot better off. And you don't need to hit them 15, 20, 30 times in order to drop them. So I would recommend, if you're looking for a good type of ammunition to actually stock up on for like preppers and stuff like that, whatever your scenario is you're going for, because you never know, the world's uncertain. I go with bigger bores, hardball, personally. Bigger bores, hardball. If you'd rather have the lighter bores, you're going to want some sort of jacket hull point, so you're going to spend a lot of money to be able to have that stuff to go to effect, so you have the same amount of effect as a bigger bore. I would recommend bigger bores with harder, but basically that hardball. All right, that's the best way to go. Now, like I said, I'm not saying the light ammunition or the smaller bores isn't as effective and it won't get the job done. I'm just saying that the bigger bores without overall situations will do a lot more when it comes to feeding your families and to defending your lives. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked this video. I hope you enjoyed the view. Keep in mind, guys, this channel is completely self-supported, so if you want, go check me out over at Patreon, whether it's you want to donate $1 a month or whatever it is to it. It really helps out. All that money goes directly into that channel. So if you like this content and you really want to help support it and keep this coming, go check me out on Patreon and become one of my patrons. So I'm going to be doing some more patron information for you guys. But anyway, guys, remember, it's our responsibility to take care of each other and protect each other. Peace.